All right, Don, looking forward to it. And the players may be the big attraction for people wanting to check out the Combine this weekend.
But there is even more fun for fans at Lucas Oil Stadium, and that's where we find Brandon Schaff, who continues our live coverage tonight. Hey, Brandon.
Yeah, good evening, Scott and Felicia. We're right here in Lucas Oil Stadium in the fan experience section of the stadium. You can see all of these Super Bowl rings, all of them on display, all these young fans, older fans, and everybody in between able to soak in NFL history. It's a really cool way for them to experience everything here aside from all the activities. And you can also see these trophies, right? We have the Heisman Trophy here, won by Fernando Mendoza, who we heard from, and the Vince Lombardi Trophy in the background as well, which is just a really cool opportunity for people to get up close and personal with some of the best hardware you will find in football. Now, outside of the stadium, helmets were on display for all 32 NFL teams. Certainly the perfect photo op, and people took advantage. There's also a field goal challenge, which looks easier than it is, I will say. Only a few people got it through the uprights, and there's also a long jump, a vertical jump, and a bench press, and there's even a 40-yard dash, just like you'll see these aspiring pro players doing today and throughout the Combine on the field. I spoke with a family that's actually visiting here from Canada about getting to experience what it's like to go through these drills themselves.
It was really cool because you could see how fast you did compared to them, and it's really cool how you can see how fast they actually are.
The NFL puts on a good show. We were at the draft a couple years ago, and they do a good job.
The fan experience continues inside with designated seating for fans to watch the athletes on the field. Now, this is a free event, and fans need to have the NFL One Pass app on their phone. And if you want to see this for yourself, you can do so by coming here the rest of this evening. And then you also have gates opening tomorrow at 11 a.m. and lots of fun activities that you can take part in. Reporting here at Lucas Oil Stadium, Brandon Schaff, 13 News.
All right, Brandon, thanks so much. What a great family experience. And when the weather is this nice, boy, Felicia, that's a perfect place to be.
All I hear is getting the kids outside, running them until they get tired.
That's for sure.
That's attractive.
So will tomorrow be as nice as today?
I think it's going to be pretty good. Temperatures may not quite be to where they are today. Right. It was exceptionally warm. We're in the 60s today. Upper 50s tomorrow. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
We'll take it for the end of February for sure. Lots of sunshine today, too. We'll change that a bit for tomorrow. We may start out with sunshine tomorrow, but I think we'll definitely have to add some clouds in as the next system approaches. Meanwhile, current temperature of 62. It has been a little bit breezy out there, south winds, but it was the sunshine and the south wind together that got us to these numbers today. We're still sitting into the low 60s, maybe even mid 60s farther to the west. Nothing major in the short term. So for the rest of this evening, we do expect the temperatures to remain relatively mild through the 50s by 8 p.m. We'll still stay in the 50s even through midnight, and overnight lows tonight, once the winds calm down, should be able to drop into the 30s. That's not a bad start for tomorrow. I'll show you what to expect for the rest of the weekend coming up.
Thanks, Rob. Well, the terms of the plea agreement for the death of 18-year-old Mason Alexander are now public tonight.
Alexander was killed as a passenger in a high-speed crash in Hamilton County almost a year ago. The teen driver from Fishers, who is charged tonight with reckless homicide, might not serve any prison time.
Rich Nye has been following this case and has reaction to the plea agreement from Alexander's family.
So we had learned earlier this month that Trey Williams has signed a plea agreement, and now we know what that deal says. But what the sentence will be is still largely to be determined by the judge. Trey Williams was not quite 18 years old at the time of the crash, but he is charged as an adult and agreed to plead guilty to reckless homicide. Two charges, reckless driving and false government identification, are dismissed in the signed plea agreement. On March 1st last year, Williams was the driver of a car that allegedly tried to pass another car on a double yellow line and swerved off of Florida Road near Geist Park in Hamilton County. The car hit a tree and caught fire. Mason Alexander was a passenger in the car and died in the crash. Alexander was a star athlete at Hamilton Southeastern High School. He had graduated early and just started college at the University of Pittsburgh, where he was on the football team. The plea agreement limits any prison sentence to a maximum 3 years. The max is 4 years for any type of confinement, like community corrections or home detention. The total sentence will be 6 years, but the judge has discretion to suspend some or all of that sentence. Williams will also lose driving privileges for 5 years. I asked Alexander's uncle about the possibility of no prison time for Williams.
We can't bring Mason back. It's a star that was put out way too soon. When you're dealing with any child, the loss of any child, it's difficult. And we're going to leave that up to the judge to decide.
Williams will formally plead guilty to reckless homicide March 11th.
We want this young man to be a better person. We want him to never forget Mason. I don't think he will. And understand that actions have consequences. And we hope that he grows.
Williams will be sentenced at a later date, which will be scheduled at his change of plea hearing, again coming up on March 11th. And the judge has a wide range of options. This could be anything from probation to some sort of community corrections to some prison time. But again, that prison time would be maxed out at 3 years, and the total sentence will be 6 years.
Okay. Rich Knight, thanks for keeping us updated on that case. An April trial date is now set for a 16-year-old charged as an adult following a shooting involving Metro Police. We had our camera in the courtroom today as Jamar Neal appeared before a judge this morning. Investigators say Neal shot at police on the far east side of Indy last Saturday. All of this unfolding while the officers who were investigating a deadly shooting tried to pull over the car Neal and 3 other people were in on East 10th Street. A judge set Neal's bond at $30,000.
Tonight, a new designation for a troubled spot downtown, Lugar Plaza. It's now officially a city park, and it's a place that we've reported on repeatedly. Dozens of police runs, arrests, and even mass overdoses.
City leaders say that new label isn't just symbolic. They say it gives new authority and new tools to address the problems. Ashton Hackman explains how.
On a bright, beautiful February day, Lugar Plaza, the front steps of city government, may be turning a corner.
We want the space to be an inviting and safe place for everyone in the community.
Downtown District Commander Shane Foley says the new city park designation changes enforcement. Park rules now backed by law.
It expands the foundation that we can do investigations.
This is one of the many signs showing all of the rules to Lugar Plaza. No smoking or vaping, no weapons, all things done before the designation as a city park. But IMPD says now that they can enforce these ordinances, they can potentially come in contact and arrest people who have outstanding warrants. Like this woman, who police say was smoking in the park. Officers asked for her name and found an active warrant. This man arrested after allegedly urinating in the plaza right in front of officers. Police say these are just a few of several arrests in recent days. In one day alone, officers say they pulled meth, spice, and other narcotics from the plaza. 6 people were arrested. City leaders say enforcement is only step one.
And I think these new tools really allow all of the partners involved to think about that in really critical ways. And that only leads to further conversations of the fun things, of the programming, of the activities, of continuing to ensure that all of our public spaces are really areas where people can come together in community and enjoyment.
But IMPD says change won't happen overnight.
If the police are taking action, we don't want people to say, well, that's a problem. If officers are making arrests, that's something that helps prevent issues from taking place.
Lugar Plaza now officially a park, and city leaders hope a safer and cleaner one. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
And IMPD says officers and park rangers will continue patrols and enforcement in Lugar Plaza. Downtown Indy Alliance says a clean park will help bring events and programming.
Saving you time at the doctor's office.
That's one of the reasons more people are turning to direct primary care. The other, benefits doctors and patients are sharing. That's tonight at 5:30. First at 5, the search for Nancy Guthrie.
The new piece of video that police are now examining tonight. And former President Bill Clinton taking the stand.
His testimony before the committee searching for answers in the Epstein files.